Hello, friends. So, I've got a very strange but very interesting, intuitive message coming through. I want to say if anyone's doing anything with ancestry, family history, especially like coats of arms, this may possibly be a reading for you. I'm not sure. So, it's mostly intuitive stuff, and then I'll talk you through why the cards are here. I just so you know, if you prefer the readings where you see me shuffle and pull cards on camera, this isn't going to be one of those readings. This is stuff I've done off camera and collected and kind of put my thoughts together to understand what it means so I can explain it to you guys. So it's the same thing. I have pulled a couple of cards intentionally, and I will tell you those when I tell you. But the other stuff was the same way that you see me do on camera, where I shuffle and it comes out. And I interpret it from there. So I'll explain it as I go, which ones came out naturally as I shuffled and which ones I intentionally pulled out. This one I intentionally pulled out because it was what they were showing me. Also these ones I intentionally pulled out because, well, one of them because it was what I was being shown in my mind's eye. Let's just go with it. Just listen to the story. So the first thing that they showed me was a man. He was sat kind of sideways on. I was looking at him from the left-hand side. I feel like he was wearing glasses, but I can't really see because the detail that they were showing me was he was looking at a computer screen, and then he was looking down at, like, kind of, these are my notes, by the way. He's kind of like looking down at some paper in his hand and kind of like going like this and comparing. You may have got a bit of a flash of something there. Kind of comparing notes and then looking back at the screen. So it was like somebody was, now they could have been doing anything, but based on the other stuff that came out, it was almost like researching Ancestry or something like this. I could actually see a little bit of the layout of the paper. It was kind of like there was a header at the top, like a bordered header, and then maybe like a square like this, and then something down the side. So to me, it was almost like a bio, like a bios of people. You know, this could be CVs, but it came in with this kind of like cross-checking energy, like looking at the computer screen, looking at the papers in the hand, looking through them, like checking the details of something. Could be contracts or something like that as well. So they showed me this. Then I was actually in a pitch black room, and I was kind of seeing like a flash of light in the room, and I kind of tried to focus kind of my mind's eye on the light, and you know, what does this mean? And I got silver lining. So it was like they showed me like a strip of silver, and I heard silver lining. Now, as I got this, it came with, oh, excuse me, so sorry. It came with big gross. I've just had breakfast and it was a big breakfast, so I'm really sorry. I should learn my lesson, really. I saw silver lining, and as I saw the silver lining and heard the words, it came in with this rush of emotion. Now, it's hard for me to pinpoint what the emotion was exactly. It made me cry, and I want to say it was something like relief, or like a release, or hope, which would make sense with every cloud has a silver lining. That's about having hope, right? Or seeing the best in a bad situation. But it was like this sudden, it was like someone found the detail, or they found the information that they needed, or, you know, like somebody suspected something and then they got the detail and everything fell into place, and it came with this rush of emotion, is how I would describe that. And then I was sat there thinking, well, what does that mean? Like obviously I know what it means. It's a metaphor. Every cloud has a silver lining. But I was like, what does it mean to have a cloud with a silver lining? Now, in my head, I've always kind of, without thinking about it, pictured either like silver threads going through clouds, or maybe like a silver like border on the clouds. But it's like it doesn't really make sense. It's not every cloud has a silver thread, right? If you take it literally, like literally, why does that phrase exist? And then I heard, I can't believe you've never asked that before. So I don't know if this is something, like, again, with this ancestry thing, I don't know if somebody's like gone to a parent or a grandfather or something like this and said, why is this the way it is? What does this mean? Like, what is this thing that I've always, it's like it's always been there, so you've never questioned it, kind of energy. Like, you've never thought to ask because it's always been part of your life. It's just been there in the background. And then all of a sudden you look at it and you think, hang on, what does that actually mean? Why is that actually there? So it could be like a heraldic symbol above a door frame or something, and you're like, well, what is that? You know, tell me more about that. So, and this person could have replied, I can't believe you've never asked that before. I can't believe you don't know. It's kind of this, like a little bit of a chuckle to it, and like a, but like it kind of like a, it's about time that you asked, or like, why don't you know this? Like, it's so intrinsic to our family value, you know, something like that. It was like this almost like disbelief, but like laughing, and kind of like, it's about time you asked. Maybe one of those things where it's like you can't talk about it, but if somebody asks you about it, you can reply. You know, one of those situations. It's like, you don't talk about it unless asked, so you don't actively give the information. You know, getting this weird kind of like gatekeeper energy, which I'll come back to. So then I actually Googled it. I was like, what does it mean, silver lining? But before I Googled it, actually, I was trying to think, well, a silver lining, right, is like lining of a coat or a cape. So then I was shown like a literal cape, you know, like a Red Riding Hood type cape with the hood, and the silver lining. And then they showed me, and this is kind of key, this currently continues. So then they showed me a fur coat with a silver lining. So kind of like a dark fur coat with a silver lining. So maybe somebody has something of this. Maybe it's like Halloween costume or something. Yeah, a silver lined fur coat. So then I looked up the phrase. I was like, what's the origin of this phrase? What does it mean that a cloud has a silver lining? You know, like a piece of clothing. So I went on a website called the Phrase Finder, and looked up the origin, and it's from a piece of literature by John Milton. It's Comus, a masque presented at Ludlow Castle. Now, I don't know if they're trying to sell me something about my family history, because I have got a Ludlow in my ancestry, so it's quite interesting. But you can see here this card that I was kind of being shown. Here there is like castles in the background. Now, just to jump to this card for a second, because this is something that I was seeing in my mind's eye. I've been getting stuff about kind of two families reuniting, or two families being brought back together, kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing for a while. It's kind of coming up again. Now, the song that I was listening to, a couple of songs before I got all this, was a song by Radiohead. You may have seen it on my notes. Talk show host by Radiohead. Now, that's actually from the film Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes version. So there's something in that song as well. The line that I kept on getting from that song was, I'm ready, and if you want me, come in and break the doors down. Now, I'm actually in the process of uploading, so there's going to be a few readings today. I don't know how many are going to get viewed. It's going to be quite time consuming for people, but I'm uploading a video now about somebody who was kind of almost squatting in a house. It was like there was a property that was being contested, and this person was almost thinking, well, I've got the upper hand if I'm actually residing in the property. The law's on my side if I'm in the property, so I'm not going to be frightened from it. So there was like something was going through the courts, and it's like, I'm not leaving the property until this has gone through the courts. Something about needing a loan as well. So I don't know if this ties in with that other reading that I did. So if you know, take it if it's you. If not, leave it. It could be just something else. So this Romeo and Juliet thing, right? Two families uniting. Now, just to explain the history, if you're not familiar with Tudor history, there's two roses here, a white rose and a red rose. Now, this was because the families were York and Lancaster. Now, it was kind of one family that was broken into two, and some took the side of Henry Bolingbroke, and some took the side of King Richard, and Richard II. Yeah, the country, basically, it was civil war. The country split in two, or this family was split into two. Some were the white rose, some were the red rose. Now, ultimately, what happened was Henry VII and Elizabeth of York married. Now, these were from the two different sides of the family, and they reunited and they married, and you've got the Tudor rose here, the red and white rose combined. So remember, that is going to come back up. So this is kind of what I was getting as kind of like backstory. So I don't know if it is like somebody's researching their ancestry. There's something about a family that's been split into two, something like this. So back to John Milton, right? Comus, a masque presented at Ludlow Castle. So this is where the original quote of every cloud has a silver lining comes from. I know it's a lot, right? I know I'm on a bit of a roller coaster here. It comes through as jigsaw pieces, and then I have to put it together in a way that's comprehensible for me to explain to you guys on the internet. I know it's a lot, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you what I'm getting. If you can follow me on this journey, it's quite interesting. I think it is anyway. This Millington quote: I see ye visibly, and now believe that he, the supreme good, to whom all things ill are but as slavish officers of vengeance, would send a glistening guardian, if need were, to keep my life and honour unassailed. Was I deceived, or did a sable cloud turn forth her silver lining on the night, and casts a gleam over this tufted grove? So he's outside, he's looking up at the sky, it's really, really dark. And it seems like his life and his honour are under threat here. So maybe somebody's reputation, something like this. And he's basically asking God, the supreme good, in his words, to send a sign or like an angelic guardian, like to watch over him and protect him when he's feeling like he's under threat, whether that's his reputation or literally his physical being. He receives this sign, the cloud, which he uses the word sable, which is important, and I'll come back to that. Sable, it means it's black, and it turns and it shows its silver lining. Now, obviously, literally, the cloud doesn't turn, but it's the moon lights up the clouds as silver, so it's completely black. The moon comes out, lights up the clouds, and the clouds go silver. But this imagery of the sable, which is literally fur, it's black fur, and I'll come back to that, I had to Google it, and the silver lining. So again, like a coat or a cape. So the imagery of the cloud, what they showed me, the imagery of the coat and the cloud, that's correct. That's what that meant. It's a bit much, but there's this line as well. So to God, the supreme good in Milton's words, to whom all ill things are but slavish officers of vengeance. So anyone acting in vengeance, anyone seeking vengeance or acting in a low vibrational way are basically like sheep. They're acting out their karmic contract. They're slaves to vengeance, right? Or it could just be talking about if you seek vengeance, you're actually keeping yourself trapped into something that you're supposed to release. You're supposed to, if somebody does you wrong, you're supposed to release it, like to the universe, to God, right? And not be petty and low vibrational, because that just brings bad karma back to you. So it's this thing about being above the bad things and trusting in God is basically Milton's message in that passage. Now, I don't prescribe to a specific religion, just to kind of put that out there. I think everything is one big thing. So just if you were wondering. So take it or leave it, you know, it's a piece of history. That's what Milton meant. So I was going further into this. I was like, well, what does he mean sable? Because to me, sable is like a brown colour originally. I was like, is it like a brown colour, like a horse thing? So I did Google it. And this is when I got into the heraldry. It was so interesting. So in heraldry, which is coats of arms and what they called, like crests, family crests, specific colours in like probably Milton's time meant specific things, again, like knights and stuff, right? So sable is a specific tincture. It's a colour, it's a tincture that is a specific aspect of heraldry. It's not like, oh yeah, it's red. It's sable. It's like there's a lot of meaning, especially like poetic meaning to it. So it's the tincture black. It's ruled by Saturn. It's connected to diamonds and nightshade. So remember Saturn and diamonds, especially diamonds, right? So this is where my mind was blown. So then I thought, well, what are other colours on heraldry? Like I went deeper, right? I took a deeper dive. And then I came to argent or argent, which blew my mind because it's a tincture of silver. Okay, so I found the silver. We've got the black and the silver. Like nothing there. Like there was no connection to the word argent, A-R-G-E-N-T, other than I saw it and clicked on it instinctively, and it was the silver lining. Like, it blew my mind. And then it says it's associated with white, so we've got black and white, right? The flip side, there's something about the flip side. And it's ruled by the moon and Neptune and pearls. Okay, so the sable, the black clouds, is linked to diamond, and the silver lining is linked to argent, which is the pearls, right? So already I've got this connection with the clouds, with the fur, with the silver lining, like, and the heraldry. And then, unbelievably, the song that was playing on Spotify was what's her name? Kelsea Ballerini and Halsey, and it was the other girl, and the line in it is, "Who's the diamond, who's the pearl?" It went full circle, guys. It went full circle. Who's the diamond, who's the pearl? So the diamond and the pearl now, to me, are representing two sides of this heraldry, but I want to say it's the same thing. There's no difference. It's the same. It's like you thought you were from two different families, but you're from the same family, something like that. But I feel like, right, going back to the guy on the computer doing his research, like, look at, like, it's almost as though he was going, something doesn't add up here. It's like, I can follow this family history to this point and this family history to this point, but there's like a weird bit in the middle where it doesn't make sense. I feel like this could be the answer, because if you're looking at heraldry, if it's something specific, I feel like I've got the key to, feel like I've got the answer, right? If it's something to do with heraldry and family crest, and you're looking at it and thinking, it's black, like this bit of the crest is black, and you like it, that's what doesn't make sense. The argent, the tincture is silver or white, it gets discolored over time. It actually gets tarnished and it looks black, but it's not. it's white. So that could be like really key to somebody who's looking into the histories. It's like if you're looking at a coat of arms, say you're looking at a coat of arms above a door and you're googling it and saying, well, it's this bit's black. It's not. I want to say it's not black. It's just got tarnished over time. It's actually silver or white. I don't know if that's helpful to you. So, who's the diamond, who's the pearl? They were also giving me sort of on and off, and I wasn't really paying attention to it because I was on this whole rabbit hole thing. But they kept giving me two families alike in dignity in fair Verona where we lay our scene, which is the opening line to Romeo and Juliet. So there's definitely this thing about two families, heraldry, a family split apart and coming back together. Now, again, it goes deeper. So I want to say the signs involved are Libra, Capricorn and Cancer. Now, what they're showing me basically is, it's so deep and it's so complicated, but it's so hard for me to explain. So for a long time, Libra energy has been coming through as diamond energy. When I hear diamond, that's Libra to me, specifically Libra's heart. Libra is, they can show many different sides, many different facets, but they're entirely clear and at least high vibrational Libras. If you look at cards like the Justice card and the Queen of Swords and the Empress that are associated with Libra energy, it's all about clarity, integrity, honesty, seeing clearly. So if you had a clear diamond, you would be able to see through it. You could shine a light through it and see the different colours radiating from the different facets. But Libra is a bit like a chameleon, which comes up in Libra's reading today, where they can show a different side as necessary. They're adaptable, I want to say, but it's like they're all part of the whole, right? It's the whole diamond. Oh, right, it's complicated. Capricorn for me at the moment is showing as almost like the void or the cave. Capricorn's reading on Friday is very similar. It's like they're the empty space. They're the, if you want to say that Libra's the white, then Capricorn's the black, you know, black and white kind of thing, like two sides of the same coin. Almost like a, what they're showing me, and I've only just got this now, I've not had this up until now. What they're showing me is at the Science Museum, you can stand in front of a wall. It's like it's a dark room, and you can stand in front of this kind of like it's like this strange wall, and a flash, like a photo will flash, and you can step away from the wall, and it leaves like a shadow on the wall. It leaves like an imprint, so you can, like, it's something to do with like the light and the shadow, right? It's like they're both there. Right, I'll come back to that. And then Cancer is the pearl for me, which I'll show you quickly this card. This is kind of a very Cancerian card for me. It's the Mermaid. Cancer's ruled by the moon. So Cancer is almost like the silver lining in this case, ruled by the moon, represented by the pearl. And Libra would be the diamond, but also Capricorn is the diamond. The Capricorn and Libra are in the same slot. It doesn't make sense, right? At the moment, and there's something going, oh my god, there's so much, guys, it's driving me mental. Astrologically, on the 6th of October, there's quite an important aspect created through Capricorn and Libra. So in Capricorn, we have Pluto, the planet Pluto. It's been going retrograde, which means it appears to go backwards in the sky for quite a few months now. On the 6th of October, I believe it's about to go forward motion in Capricorn. So if Capricorn's been going through it, if times have been stressful, if they've been a bit depressed, if they've been doing deep soul searching, I feel like they're coming out of that phase and they're starting to progress on or around the 6th of October. So very much Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn, which is the ruling planet of Capricorn, that is very dark energy. It's almost like going into your shadow side, going into the underworld energy, which I'll come back to. Again, go and watch Capricorn's reading if that feels like it applies to anyone. Libra has Mercury going retrograde, which means there could be communication problems. Mars, which is a planet about taking action and also anger and passion. The Sun and the Moon, all in Libra on the 6th. Now that creates a specific dynamic between those two signs, which I feel like is very important at this time. I have even been getting, I did a Tell Me Anything reading the other day, and the song came out was If I Had a Diamond Heart by Alan Walker. Diamond Heart again is Libra, and he says Heart of Stone, which is to me is Capricorn. So I keep getting this link between Libra and Capricorn, and it's been confusing because I'm like, well, basically what they're showing me now is Libra is the diamond, right? The diamond heart. So, and then it's almost like Capricorn's cave, Capricorn's stone is the space that the diamond fits in. So, if you want to look at computer games like Lara Croft or films like Indiana Jones, a lot of the time you're given it's like the diamond is the key. And I'm getting the word keystone, which is also the, if you look at an archway, the keystone is it's also, I think, called the heartstone. It's the top of the arch. It stops the arch from falling down. It's the most important piece in the archway. It's like a really clever piece of not archaeology, what's the word? House building, architecture, the keystone. And again, a lot of the time people put the family crest over the keystone or above a doorway. So I really am getting that so strongly. Keystone is really important. So the diamond is the keystone. It fits into the stone slot, right? It's and I'm getting this like turning energy. So what I'm getting, it's so much. I know I sound crazy. Okay, I know I sound crazy. Maybe I am. I don't know, but it's interesting and it's fun. So I'm going along with it. So you can almost see it here on the back of these cards, which is very helpful. You see this kind of like almost like a compass. It's that same energy. The diamond goes into the space, into the slot, and it turns a bit like opening a safe, right? You have to get the right combination. Now there's something with the way it turns. They keep on giving it to me, this turning energy. So it's like a dial or something. I've been getting this weird thing where Libra is Cancer and Cancer is Libra. And now it's coming through with Libra is Capricorn and Capricorn is Libra. So if you actually look at an astrological chart, Libra and Aries are actually opposite each other. But I want to say with Mars being in Libra, it's like Libra and Aries are both the same. And then the Capricorn and Cancer are actually, it's almost like the points of a clock, right? You've got 12 and 6 and 3 and 9 is how those signs are kind of fixed. But it's like Aries, which is Mars, which rules Aries, has moved to Libra, so they're in the same spot. And then it's almost like this like turn. So it's like Libra slots into Capricorn, like the diamond fits into the space of Capricorn, and then it's almost like but it's like Libra's already Cancer. It's like Libra's already slotted to Cancer and then slots back and then slots into Capricorn. So it's almost like those 4 aspects, those 4 polar points, like east and west, north and south, are all in the same space at the same time. Do you see what I mean? And it's bizarre. I know it's bizarre. Thank you if you're still watching this, because it's a lot to take in. So I specifically pulled this card out with the War of the Roses, with the 2 sides of the family coming together. Because I wanted to show you what I was getting. So I'm going to move that to the side for a second. I also pulled these out because this was whenever I thought of the pearl, this was the card that I was being shown in my mind's eye. So it's a mermaid, because, I don't know, deep exploration of emotions. And she's actually offering this large pearl. Now, the 4 of Water is a card about missed opportunities. It's about almost like sulking. It's like, I'm over it, I'm sulking, nothing worked out, so I'm taking my ball back, you know, I'm not playing anymore. It's that kind of energy. But here she's actually offering this pearl. Now, the pearl being offered is normally a cup. It's the four of cups in the usual tarot. It's a cup of love. It's an emotional offer, and it's a divine emotional offer. The 4th cup is actually the Ace of Cups in the tarot, which is a divine opportunity to show or receive emotions. But the 4 of Water is normally somebody is missing this opportunity. In the imagery of this card, the cup is being offered, but it's almost like these other cups, these other offers are inferior, right, to this emotional, deep emotional offer. Unbelievably, now I was even thinking, I'm not getting anything for the diamond. I'm not seeing anything for the diamond. They're not showing me any cards. I don't understand what the diamond means exactly. The card that was underneath this one, so when I went through and pulled this card out, the card underneath is this card. Very, very similar. It's the diamond, and there's inferior diamonds floating away. There's actually a string of pearls there as well that's being ignored. It's another mermaid. See what I mean? Who's the diamond? Who's the pearl? So I don't know if somebody's looking to receive an offer being offered. And then there's this 9 of Water. So the 9 of Water is actually, that's quite interesting. Okay, so now I'm getting drawn into another reading that I did recently where somebody was giving up somebody that they loved. It also came through for Capricorn. It was, you want to follow your dreams, I'm going to let you follow your dreams. I don't want you to be sad. I don't want you to feel like you've missed out. Therefore, I love you enough to let you go. I love you enough to give you your freedom. Unconditional love, it was coming through as. So the diamond for Libra is Libra's ability to love themselves, is to be unbreakable, is to have the diamond heart where they can give their love freely and not expect anything in return and not be heartbroken. Understanding the ability to love is more important than to be loved in return. So really, Libra at the moment is really understanding unconditional love, I want to say. Now, the 9 of Water, the ability to love yourself, the ability to make yourself happy, to understand that your energy is separate to everybody else's energy, always connected, but always individual as well. So you don't have to worry about what other people are doing. If you can find that happiness from within, you can find that connection to divine love and inspiration from within. That's the real treasure, I want to say. And that's kind of the meaning of this card. The real treasure is the heart. Is the keystone, if you like, I don't know. Like the pearl wouldn't fit in this space. Maybe it would, I don't know. But this is a divine offer. I don't know, maybe somebody's picking between 2 women. Which, you know, that's their own personal choice, right? So what am I getting now? It could be the same person, different aspects of the same person as well. Again, it's almost like this dial turning. Now, it came through with this old Bible story. I'm just checking I'm still recording, where and I feel like this has been coming through, and I feel like it's mostly for Capricorn, because Capricorn has been it's almost like dealing with these 2 Libras, or dealing with these 2 energies, and it's like one presented as an angel and one presented as an angel but they were actually a devil, and one presented as a devil but they were actually an angel. It's like this person couldn't read the true motivations of people. So with that in mind, it's bringing in this story where in the Bible, these 2 women both claimed to be the mother of this baby, and they went before the king and said, we both want this baby. And the king was like, right, okay, chop the baby in half, you can each have half of it. And one woman was like, yeah, okay, fine. Because, I don't know, she was diabolical apparently. But the other woman, who truly loved the baby, who was truly his mother, and had that unconditional love for it, couldn't bear to see the child harmed, right? She wanted so she was willing to give the baby up to save the baby's life, which is the unconditional love, which comes through as this very, very similar story of sacrificing something you love for the good of the thing that you love, which has been coming through for a couple of readings with it's been coming through as like a living grief. It's like preparing to give something up that you love, and it's like you're going to go through the grieving process, but this thing is still alive. It's been really the most difficult energy I think I've dealt with in readings. So yeah, it's almost like there was this test. And now they're playing I'm Not Giving You Up, whoa, 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 which is Gloria Estefan. To be completely honest, it scares me to imagine what life would be without you. And for this very reason, I ask you to forgive me for what I'm putting us through. So you can go and listen to that if you want to look up more of the lyrics. Or just look up more of the lyrics if you don't like my singing, I don't know. So it's like, it's that energy. It's also coming through as I think it's metaphorically, it could literally be a heart transplant, but I did ask and I didn't specifically get that from the cards, but that's the way it's coming through, right? Because it's Libra's heart, it's Libra's diamond heart, and they're taking it and slotting it into the empty space, the cold, dead, empty space that, I'm sorry, Capricorns, Pluto's in your chart right now. Pluto's the god of death. Like, Capricorn has been coming through as like flatlining, like emotionally, emotionally absent, because I assume that they've been through something, maybe actual literal grief, right? They've been through literal pain. It's like I have to close down my heart, I have to turn my heart to stone, I have to freeze my heart because I can't bear any emotions, is the way I mean, like severe, almost like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah, like I cannot, almost like the Four of Cups energy, I cannot feel anything right now. I cannot, like, I have to completely switch off emotionally to survive, is the way it came through. So then with Libra taking their heart and putting it into the Capricorn cave, the Capricorn space, it's the keystone, it's the key to unlocking Capricorn's emotions and letting them feel them, but also because it's the diamond heart, diamond mind, it's like allowing them to feel and see, but it's like through this prism. There's like it's almost like a safe space, or because the diamond heart is unbreakable. If I had a diamond heart, it's like Libra's giving Capricorn the diamond heart. It's like, you take it, you need it more than me, is the way it's coming through. So there's the sacrifice. So as I say, it could be something like a heart transplant, and it could be something where somebody's passed over and they're living through the transplantee. It's like, because I've been getting this funny copycat energy as well coming through, and I've not been able to make sense of it, but it's like and like Kathy as well, like literally I had this dream where Kathy was at my window, you know, the black or black swirling, and I was like, I don't know if I should let her in. But it's like when people get a transplant, it's like sometimes they get like, they take on the personality traits of the person who passed away, or the person who had that organ before them, and it's like they're showing me something else, which I'll come to in a second. They like can get skills that they never were able to do before, like all of a sudden they can play the piano. It's making me think of one of the first things I ever heard intuitively, which was you make him happy, look after him. So it's like, it's almost like two souls occupying one body. Who's the diamond, who's the pearl? This person's both. It's like they're both people. So if this person seems to be taking on characteristics of the other person, it's because they've had some kind of transplant. It's like this. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it's what I'm getting. So I'm putting it out there because it's driving me mad. And normally if something's driving me mad and I do a reading on it, it kind of shuts up and goes away for a bit. So I pulled cards on this anyway. A few different cards. What time am I on? 34 minutes. It's not going to be a coffee break quickie, is it? So I pulled some cards. I got, unbelievably, the King of Fecking Roses, right? War of the Roses, you've got the King of Roses. What's he holding? A red rose and a white fecking rose. What else did I get? Summer and winter, and on the underlying, and this is the way that I put the cards down, the King of Forces. So literally, look, 2 kings, right? 2 kings, different sides of the family, something like that. Also, I didn't know this, Keystone. I've not looked it up. Somebody told me when I was discussing this that in like Italian families, the keystone is normally like the grandmother or something like that. It's like the grandmother keeps the 2 sides of the families connected. So maybe somebody's lost a grandmother and the 2 sides of the families fell apart. It's like you need another keystone to unite the 2 families, something like that. Again, with the ancestry, it makes a lot of sense. So we've got this thing here now with summer and winter in the middle. I'm getting a couple of things. Mainly it's like a division of time. Somebody has to, divide the time between 2 places. If we want to take this as a mythology, we've just had the autumn equinox, which means we're going into, in the northern hemisphere at least, we're going into autumn and winter. Now, the mythology of this is obviously Persephone, who was taken by Hades. Again, Pluto. Hades is Pluto. It's this 2 sides of the same coin. It's the same god in different mythology. The god of the underworld. He took Persephone to be his wife, and she has to, because she had a number of pomegranate seeds, she has to spend half a time underground with Hades and half a time above ground with her mother. And this is why we have the seasons. When Persephone goes underneath to the underworld, her mother grieves, and this creates, her mother is the goddess Demeter of like crops and things like this. This is why we have this is why things die away, because Persephone's mother grieves, and Persephone's in the underworld. When Persephone comes up and joins her mother, we have spring and summer. So it's that kind of energy. It's like dividing your time between 2 places. It's almost like dividing your time perhaps between 2 kings, or dividing your time between 2 families, 2 father figures, something like this. Maybe somebody has 2 husbands, I don't know. I'm also kind of getting, it could be the same person, and this is like the flip side of the same person. In some of this person's ability to be with the person that they love, and to show love, and to be romantic. It's kind of like the King of Cups and the King of Wands combined for me. And over here you have the King of Forces, who's very, very earthy. I guess this would be more like King of Pentacles type energy. So then they go and spend half the year doing their business, at the workplace, but away from the person that they love. So it's like 2 sides of the same person where they're acting or playing different roles, I want to say. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, right. So let me read these. The King of Roses. I've got other things to be doing today. I didn't intend to be doing a reading today, and yet here we are. All because I shut my eyes and saw a fucking silver lining. I mean, I guess if you're going to see anything, a silver lining is a good thing to see, right? This card shows a man holding 2 roses. Unbelievably, right? Blew my mind. A red and a white, demonstrating a balance of passion and purity. At his feet are the yellow roses of healing and creativity. This is the King of Love, a man who is balanced and well-rounded. When he appears upright in your spread, it indicates that a potential union could be at hand. A union, right? Like a marriage, right? Uniting 2 families. Either in friendship, business, or even romance. Whether this is a new relationship or the blossoming of an old one, this man brings tender-hearted and thoughtful support. He is also someone who could be helpful in your personal life, especially when home or family issues are concerned. It's funny because in that reading that I did on, what day did I do? Saturday, it was like somebody was applying for a visa. And again, when you get a visa, sometimes it's like you have to spend half the year in one place and half the year in another place, right? It's like a 6-month visa. That would make a huge amount of sense. Whether the King of Roses is you or another man, the role of a husband or father is now opening to create a happy home and family. This card also lets you know that you are ready to stand up for yourself and to take loving but considered action on your own behalf. It's a time of increasing love and compassion, which always start within, right? You've got to find it within first, the 9 of Cups, right? Once you're emotionally stable and you find that love and you find that you know, the ability to love and that love for yourself, then you're in a really, really good position to slot into another relationship, if you like, you know, to meet somebody else who's on that level. Now, the King of Roses was clarified by the Knight of Cups. Beautiful. This is the Lancelot card. This is the knight in shining armour riding in to profess his love to the person that he loves. So huge romantic love offer or gesture being made here. It's beautiful. And it's also clarified by the Two of Cups. Now, talk about the red and the white rose coming together and the uniting of the families, you know, creating the Tudor rose. You literally have this depicted on this card. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful depictions of the Two of Cups that I have. Two people combining their energy, which is very different. It's shown as yin and yang, black and white, right? Which what I was saying, it's like they were occupying the same space. With the shadow thing, it's and the slotting in, it's the same space. So I really feel like it's connected to the planetary movement, specifically on or around the 6th of October. So yeah, like union, like two people working together in harmony. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This summer and winter card, I'm not going to read the description on this card. It basically talks about there's a time for everything. Sometimes it's time to work hard, to plough the fields, to plant the seeds, and to reap the harvest, right? And sometimes it's a time for rest and a time of inactivity, a time of hibernation. So it's talking about there's a time for everything, basically. And this was clarified by the Knight of Wands. Now, here we go. I said the King of Wands is like a combination of cups and wands. So the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands. It could be that these are the two parts. These are the two people. Somebody who's very, very passionate, very motivated, really trusts their gut, trusts their instincts. You know, it's one of the fastest moving knights in the deck. They go for what they want. They do what they feel. Impulsive, fun, vibrant. Not in the reverse. A lot of people talk about the Knight of Wands as though they're a player. I don't read them as a player unless they're in reverse. I would say yes, the Knight of Wands tends to jump into things and they tend to make mistakes, but that's because they're still in kind of the learning process. They're kind of the adolescent age of exploring the things that make them feel fired up, but they're very, very fun and they're vibrant. So there's nothing wrong with the Knight of Wands in the upright. It's basically just somebody acting with impulse and, you know, going with the passions. Also communicating. The Knights are the riders. They carry the letters. So expressing love, expressing passion. These two energies coming together to create something new and beautiful. But there's a time and a place to be passionate. I feel like this King of Cups is coming in with the love, with the cups. Again, I feel like he's a combination of both energies. So very lovely. You get all the passion of the wands, but also the love and the depth and the emotional connectivity of the cups. The King of Forces then. Again, I don't know if this is a different role that somebody plays. It's almost like home and work, perhaps. You know, relationships and workplace. Something like that, or it could be two different people. You know, maybe this person has to shut off emotionally when they're in this environment, but in this environment they can open up that more romantic side. The King of Forces, a man standing by a stream is surrounded by different animals of the woods. The power of nature is all around him, in the earth below his feet, in the water running by, and in the star-filled nebula in the sky above. Yet he is a force himself, exerting calming influences on the wolf and the rabbit, which are natural enemies. Again, this natural enemies thing, right? The two sides, the wolf and the rabbit. Upright, this card indicates the presence of a man who has a powerful and positive energy. He comes with good intentions, gentleness and honesty resonate from him. If you don't know this man yet, his energy will be coming into your life. It's like this is the peacekeeper, right? This is the head of the family. This is the keystone. This is the person who resolves the arguments, who calms the beast within all the different people. He tames people. He keeps them. It's like he soothes old wounds. He's the person making things, creating the coexistence between people who would normally fall out. It's like head of the household kind of energy. He could bring support for a special project, a work issue, or just your life in general. He may also be a possible love interest. So in order to be open to receiving a man of honour, make sure you engage in honouring and being tender towards yourself. Back to that energy, right? Oh, she's off the table. Back to this energy, tender and loving towards yourself, finding the diamond heart within yourself, right? And I talk about the different signs. It doesn't have to necessarily be a different sign. Interesting, I picked her up in reverse. That says not missing out on opportunities anymore. It doesn't have to be a specific sign. This could be how the planets are impacting one person. Our birth chart is all the planets. The planets move through all the different houses, all the houses are ruled by different signs. So we're all impacted by Libra energy. We're all impacted by Capricorn energy. You know, it just depends on which position in the chart they're in. So, and this I think is why I'm seeing the slotting. It's like, as the planets move around, it's like you actually tap into and learn from the different signs as everything moves around your chart. I think that's what I'm getting from that. He may also be a possible of interest. So in order to be open to receiving a man of honour, make sure you engage in honouring and being tender towards yourself. For you or a man around you, this could be a position coming. There could be a position coming in any of the careers natural to the King of Forces, such as my heart just beat. Like, obviously my heart's beating. It's like a thump, a heart thump. Such as electronics, astronomy, physics, geology, alternative fuel, any of the earth sciences, and new industries in environmental care. So quite, I'd say it's very earthy. It's like an earth sign energy from the depiction of the card, but it's also coming through as air signs, specifically Aquarius. Because Aquarius is associated with things like environmental issues, progression, sciences. Any activity connecting with earth energy and nature are beneficial to you at this time. Whether you are male or female, this also reveals an important side of yourself. Feel the balance and beauty of nature and know that powerful forces are always moving within and around you. So it's interesting because it's almost like an emperor now, because you've got the King of Roses, which is like the King of Cups and the King of Wands combined. And then you've got the King of Forces, which to me is very, very earthy energy. So the King of Pentacles. Now also it's coming through with this King of Swords energy. What is it clarified by? The King of Swords. I feel like you've got all four kings of the tarot here. Somebody who's investigating different sides of themselves. And when you learn to be all four kings of the tarot, whether you're he, she, or they, you become the emperor. You get fully in control of your own life. So this is the key. Somebody's. That's what it is. Somebody's learning the different aspects. I wish I had a diamond to show you what I mean. Somebody's turning the diamond, right, looking at the different facets of their own personality, perfecting and polishing them, slotting everything into place so that they can be all four kings of the tarot and become the emperor. And this is what I mean about it's like the white and the black at the same time, the positive and the negative, the poles. It's like bringing in the poles and becoming one, becoming whole, being the summer and the winter at the same time. I think I've got it. By George, I think she's got it. King of Swords, yeah, Aquarius energy, analytical, good with contracts, thinks things through, lawyer kind of energy, everything that we're saying about the King of Forces, really. Very intellectual, very knowledgeable. So, is she done? Is she heck? Oh, by the way, death card on the underline of that. So, yeah, some kind of transformation, I think. Some big, like almost like catastrophic ending, like something is dead and gone. Again, could be talking about an ancestor that has passed over. It's coming through with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, but there is lessons to be learned here. There is completion and closure of a cycle. And then somebody's moving on, I think, and somebody's moving on really, really strong, if these cards are anything to go by. So I'm nearly done, guys. If you want to go and pause and go and get yourself a cup of coffee before we jump into the last bit of the reading, you can do. If not, let's crack on and get through this. So, I don't know if this is the same reading. I don't know if this is a different reading. But what I got here was, I feel like the three energies. I feel like I've got Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. Not necessarily, but it's the diamond, the cave, the pearl, right? Which are still in this kind of like, what do I slot into the place? Is it the diamond? Is it the pearl business? This is 100% absolutely the cave. Like, look, this person, as I was saying, it's like the song that comes through for Capricorn this week is Evanescence, like without a soul. My spirit, like, and it's like no heart space, completely emotionally, like void. It's the void. You know, the cave is the space, you know. It's the container that holds the space, for the heart to be put into. Again, it could be heart transplant. But the Page of Wands, exploring what makes them passionate, learning about their own passions, and doing this deep soul searching. Now, that literally this card, the Nine of Wands, it's the Wounded Warrior card. It's somebody who's fought a lot of battles, been through a lot of shit, right? This is the sort of person who keeps getting knocked down, and they felt like giving up so many times, but they dust themselves up, dust themselves off, get back up onto their feet, and they keep going. It's like, like this is giving up. Like this is like, I am not giving up. I've got perseverance. I've got the grit and determination to do this. Very, very strong energy. Capricorn has been going through this basically since I started doing readings for them, because they've got Pluto in the chart, and Pluto does teach you about I mean, Pluto is the god of the underworld, right? It's like going down, confronting your own shadow side, confronting your inner demons, doing that shadow work, looking at your memories from the past, and really kind of learning what you can learn from them, and then letting them go. Someone's taking the shadow work really seriously, but this has left them. It's like they're inside their own heart. It's like they're inside their own void space. They're inside themselves. Is how that's coming through. But this, like, almost like Orpheus energy, and again, somebody could have lost a loved one. It's like going down into your the underworld of the self, right? Your own shadow side. As I was saying, with like the image of like the void, taking the photograph and the shadow behind. It's like the same, something about like the same space. Absolutely, 100%. That is the Saturn energy, the Capricorn energy that I've been picking up on. Over here, this is definitely the pearl. You can see here she's got a pearl in her hands. Now, this, when I first read this card, I read it as the High Priestess. Very High Priestess energy with the owl, talking about intuition. The moon there, the moon actually rules Cancer. So it could be Cancer, could be Scorpio, I don't know. But here as well, the death card, it was clarified by the death card. You can see she's even got pearls in her hair. Can you see that? So she's got a pearl here. It's like, here's one of the charms. This charm could slot into the space, right? It could slot into the space. Maybe it's been taken out of the space. Whatever this is, and again with the Pluto energy, the death energy coming in. Now, it doesn't always mean literal death, but it means thoughts or an understanding of death. The world is higher knowledge, higher learning. So it's like somebody's got a deeper understanding of death. Perhaps they've only seen it as a just something that happens, you know, it is what it is kind of energy, life and death stuff, right? But this is a much, much deeper, much more layered, much more nuanced understanding of death and also rebirth. You know, after the death comes the rebirth, the new life. Now, it can talk about a complete transformation of somebody, a complete ending to some kind of cycle in their life where something just wasn't working for them anymore. Perhaps they were perpetually kept in this Nine of Wands energy. But this is like big lessons learned around death. Please do go and watch Capricorn's reading if this is resonating, because that's what their whole reading was about basically. It's going up on Thursday. It's like going down and like looking the Lord of Death in the eye and saying, not today. Oh my God, that's what it is. Like with the Nine of Wands, it's like, not today, Satan, you know, not today. What do we say to the God of Death? Not today. It's Game of Thrones. It's that kind of energy. It's perhaps this person's been very, very depressed, but they've not given up. You know, they kept going. I feel like the universe, you know, they're learning these lessons. The universe is going to reward them, I want to say. Over here, we have, now if this is the Libra energy, I'm not quite seeing it. Not quite seeing it. She has got this tiara on, and she has got this light shining into her or shining out of her possibly as well with the diamond heart. The diamond heart radiates. So the Four of Wands can talk about a celebration of a milestone. It's funny, she does look a bit like a ballerina, doesn't she? I keep getting ballerina through, and like Kelsea, Ballerini and stuff. I don't know, this energy is a bit more of a mystery to me. It's shown with the Ace of Wands. It's the passion, new passion, creativity, ideas, like passion for the new. but it's not showing on this card. It's still locked away. I want to say again, like her heart space is locked, and we've got this keystone energy as well. It's like you have to find the right key. You have to unlock this heart space. You have to unlock this passion, but only one key is going to fit that lock. And I feel like, I mean, this person's turned this way. Interesting, they both turned this way. These people are head on. This person's head on. This is what I mean, facing death head on. And then almost turning you back from it and walking away and walking into this Ace of Wands energy. Now, when you, because perhaps this cycle, this repeating cycle kept somebody perpetually in the wounded warrior energy. So turning you back on it, saying not today, and walking towards the Ace of Wands, who's also looking this way. Perhaps, I mean, she's carrying a wand. Perhaps the wand is going to be what the key that unlocks this person's heart. It's like, the Ace of Wands combined with the Nine of Wands is the Ten of Wands. This does create an ending. It does create a position where you can put down the burdens and break out of that Nine of Wands cycle. It's the almost home card. It's funny, again, Libra has brick house in their reading. Almost home card. And then when you get to the Ten of Wands, you're home, you can rest, you can put down the burdens and rest. And they're both facing towards this Two of Cups, right? Interestingly, though, it's like there's this oyster shell in the background. It's a difficult Two of Cups card. This one for me. There's a pearl in, like, they're the pearl, like, but there's this funny thing with this Two of Cups card where it's coming through with this like twins energy. Almost like, it's almost like the good twin and the bad twin for me. Now her eyes are, she's just got eyeshadow on, but it almost looks to me as though she hasn't got eyes. So it's kind of like this, you know how saying it's like the two occupying the same space. It's really weird with that dream that I had about the woman. She had black hair and black clothes on, and she had all this kind of like creepy energy, and she wanted to come in like, you know, like Kathy at the window. So I don't know if it is something where like somebody's getting a heart transplant, or it's like becoming both, because it is giving me like Orpheus in the underworld vibes. You know, he goes and stands up to Hades and Persephone and says, give me my wife back, kind of thing. But then he has to lead her out of the underworld, and he's not supposed to look back, but he does. And then she's kept in the underworld. But Orpheus gets to the surface. I don't know, guys. It's weird, isn't it? It's really weird. But I mean, that's as far as I've got with this journey. Now, they're drawing my attention to this deck. Let me get one more card and just see what it says. So before I end this reading, is there anything else we need to know? There's healing here. Four of Swords is healing. But it's almost like this person's so busy at work. It's like ghost energy as well. It's like this king is so busy healing. He's so busy trapped in his thoughts about the past that he's not seeing that the kingdom's currently burning. He's relinquishing his responsibilities, kind of thing. We're here, the Eight of Coins. This person, sorry if you can hear that, it's just my foot on my stool. The Eight of Coins is normally somebody really, really hard at work. They're perfecting something. They're doing something over and over and again until they get perfect at it. So it does come through with like perfectionist energy. Where here, it's almost like he's ignoring this child. He's so busy, he's so focused on the work that he's ignoring the child. And here this person's ignoring, it's kind of like watching Rome burn energy. So focused on their own inner healing, so focused on perfecting their own soul journey, that they're ignoring the things that need their attention in the outside world. So I'm going to leave that there. Oh, King of Cups on the bottom though, yummy. Again, Scorpio energy though. Emotional disconnect, emotional distance. Yeah, somebody's been, there's the Devil as well. Somebody's been putting a lot of work into something. It's keeping them chained. That is kind of like that's kind of when religion rules you. You know, religion's meant to serve you, it's meant to help you. But this is when religion gets tyrannical, or marriage. Again, this kind of like distance energy. Somebody could be burning bridges or something. It's like they've been putting work into something and it hasn't given anything back to them. It's the water in a dead tree. So there is this emotional disconnect. Again, here's that child again that we saw on this card. You can see different, oh, it's the same deck, but it's very similar. There's an emotional disconnect, possibly from some sort of father figure, but there's really deep emotions here. But somebody's emotionally disconnected. Right, I hope that was helpful. Oh, also the sun and the moon here combined, so, taking up the same space. Okay, all right. Make of that what you will. Hopefully I can get it out of my head now and get on with my day and do the things that I need to do. Now that I've communicated those messages to you, to whoever needs to hear them. I feel like the key thing is that heraldry thing, where it's like, it's this diamond and pearl business and occupying the same space, like the keystone, the symbolism of the family crest, over the keystone, over the archway, holding two families together. And how reputation can be tarnished, perhaps. There's something about somebody's reputation being tarnished, but also the silver lining becoming tarnished over time, and almost looking like the black cloud or the sable itself. I don't know, maybe symbolically, like maybe there's something to do with somebody's fur coat, right? Maybe there's something in the pocket of a fur coat or something that's going to provide an answer, or in the lining of a fur coat. You know, people sometimes hide things in the lining of you know, precious things in the lining of old clothing. You know, like you can talk about, I think during the war, I think, did Jewish families often hide, when they were trying to get out of the country, they often hid things in like the lining of coats and things. So maybe it's something like that. Again, if somebody's looking into family history. I'll leave it with you. I do feel like I've given someone the key to something there. Somebody's looking for the key, right? And the right lock, and you know which key fits which lock. I don't know. I'm going. That's enough for one day. Do take care. It was 11:44 then, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.